Does anybody remember the Halo franchise? I mean, at one point it was this huge first person shooter franchise that not only did everybody talk about, but it was also the one game that every single shooter wanted to be like, to the point where there was a whole phrase for shooters that were being hyped up called Halo killers. Like, they would say that this new shooter was going to be this Halo killer, and so many games were called that. And of course, that Halo killer didn't come until Call of Duty 4 came out. But Call of Duty 4 was such a Halo killer that all these other games not only try to be like Call of Duty 4 instead of like Halo, but even Halo itself tried to be like Call of Duty. Like Halo 4, for example, it had loadouts and it had other features added from Call of Duty 2. And what do you know? Halo 4 was also the game that ended up killing the series, essentially. And the same was with the campaign. Halo 4's campaign also felt much more scripted than previous Halo campaigns had. And now look at the Halo series now. Halo is so irrelevant that not only was Halo 5 the worst selling title in the series, but at the same time, people just aren't getting hyped up whenever they hear about a new Halo game like they were years ago when Halo was that game that helped sell Xboxes like crazy. So why have I been talking about Halo in a video that's about the Pokemon franchise? Well, it's because, let's just say that they just announced new Pokemon, okay? And I've shown my friends these new Pokemon and I've asked them what they've thought of it. And well, they not only felt that they weren't very Pokemon like, but they also felt like they were feeling more like another franchise that's been popular lately, mainly Yokai Watch. Now, Yokai Watch hasn't exactly been popular in America, with its popularity feeling like that of another Bakugan, for example. But over in Japan, Yokai Watch has been a smash hit, selling millions and millions of games. Now, maybe it's not Pokemon when it comes to sales, especially outside of Japan, but inside Japan, it's been a huge seller. Now, sure, it's very unlikely that Yokai Watch is ever going to be as popular as Pokemon is in America, especially when you consider that Yokai Watch is much more heavily rooted in Japanese culture than Pokemon is. But at the same time, Yokai Watch has been enough of an influence to the point where Pokemon's new character designs feel more like something out of that franchise than out of Pokemon. Now, Yokai Watch isn't exactly known for having the best character designs or the most memorable character designs either, so it's not like it's a very good thing at all. If anything, it just makes Pokemon feel more generic, like one of those other shows that popped up in Pokemon's wake, and it also makes Pokemon feel like it's kind of becoming a Me Too game. Like, Pokemon is not the newest game anymore or the most popular game in its genre anymore. And the thing is, there have been other games that have done things much better than Pokemon has in this genre. I mean, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, for example. I had much more fun playing that game than I've had with any Pokemon game released in the last few years, and it's easy to see why. From how that game handled monster evolutions and whatnot, to the fact that the game actually had a really good story, which Pokemon seemed to lack in the last few games, considering how it's all about getting the badges and defeating Team Evil every single time, except with a bunch of pseudo-intellectual plot twists in the newer games. And even if you forget the fact that Yokai Watch exists, you also have to remember that these new Pokemon are just plain mediocre designs. I mean, nobody wants these poorly designed DeviantArt abominations, and nobody also wants bugs that are shaped like boxes or trains, and nobody wants an electric hedgehog Pokemon. Yeah, that's right. That's what the new Pikachu clone is this generation. An electric hedgehog Pokemon. Because, I mean, dear lord, these designs are just garbage. That's forgettable. I mean, this is why I don't care about Pokemon anymore. Because it's just mediocrity and it doesn't know what it wants to be. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pokemon is seen as the Sonic the Hedgehog of role playing games in a few years at this point, because that's what it seems like it's going to be. After all, even Generation 5 and Generation 2 showed more improvements over previous Pokemon games graphically, and those were also on the same systems as the previous games. And I think that's all that needs to be said about Pokemon Sun and Moon. It's going to suck. Please don't pre-order it. And that's all that needs to be said about Pokemon. It's a joke now. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.